Hello my dear student. So, today we will discuss here unit 2 of my lecture 7. Okay. So, in the previous lecture you have learned about the artificial intelligence and just introduced with the term machine learning, and in the unit 2 what you have seen how many types of machine learning is, and machine learning were the 3 types: supervised, unsupervised and reinforcement, isn't it? So, supervised learning is what? Supervised learning means when the machine is supervised with the supervisor. Okay. That means you have to train your machine with the supervisor, with the previous data sets available, with the assumptions, with the observations, right. So, here you have to develop the machine that will work as you command it. Okay. So, there are various ways by which you can do the things, like one of the method was supervised. In supervised we have discussed previously what we have seen that supervised learning is classified into 2 parts. One was the classification method and second was the regression method. So, classification and regression. So, classification we are again further divided into 2 parts, binomial and the multi-class. Okay. So, regression is what? Regression means you have to analyze your data at every aspects, in every aspects, okay, and you have to put the data in which class, or you have to take the decision on the basis of some given sets, some given classes, and you will analyze. So, being a management student, and since it is introduced in the specialization of IT, right. So, you have to know the technological term also, because you have to develop the machine. So, technological term you have it has already discussed what will be framework required for that. Okay. So, here I will discuss the supervised learning in detail. So, in supervised learning I will discuss here multivariate regression and non-linear regression. Okay. So, regression were 2 types, linear regression and non-linear regression. So, non-linear regression and linear regression. So, linear regression was what? When the dependency, yes, here one more term will introduce, dependent and independent variable. So, what is dependent variable and what is independent variable? The term that is dependent on the particular thing, that is dependent. Suppose you have to predict the price of the particular area of the any of the house, and on the basis of what? On the basis of area. So, area becomes the independent variable, and the price that you will predict is the dependent. Price is predicted, price is predicted and price is the dependent variable, and the area is independent. Okay. Area may vary, area may be 2000 square feet, 1000 square feet, whatever it is required for the customer. So, when regression comes into the picture, then dependency comes around you. Okay. Dependency, you will see the dependency. That is why the term multivariate and non-linear regression, because you have to analyze the data in so many aspects. Linear regression only one dependency, and if you will take the decision on the basis of multiple variables, right, multiple independent variable. So, the term will be non-linear introduces there. Linear and non-linear discuss in detail later. Okay. So, here I will cover what? Introduction of machine learning. Machine learning is what? Machine learning means it is already discussed. It is basically the term relies on the algorithm. Algorithm means algorithm is nothing, just what you want to do you will write in a step manner, that is the algorithm. Step 1 will be start and step last will be the end, okay, and in between whatever you will do you will just write in the step manner, that is the algorithm. So, what machine learning basically works on the algorithm, right. First you have to write the what you want to perform on that with that machine. Okay. So, basically it is an important tool for the aim for what? For the basically impactable technological, sound technological enhancement around artificial intelligence. Okay. So, it is basically often referred as a AI because of its learning and decision making capability obviously. With the help of this, you will take, machine will take its own decision. You will not there for taking just for the giving some command. Command will be given by the third person and machine will act accordingly, whatever it is commanded. Okay, you will feed on that. How machine is work? You will give the input along with the output and then it will be programmed. I have told you in the previous lecture also how machine will work. So, machine learning, machine has to learn. Okay. So, in today's area technology basically focused on the data, right. So, how will machine learn? With the help of the data. Okay. So, there is a dependency in all that. I have told you, na, we mean there is a dependent and independent variable, that's independency and independency when comes into the picture, then the regression comes into the picture. Okay. When dependent and independent introduces, then regression comes into the picture. Because in classification only you have to put the data in the particular class, right. You have to divide the things on the basis of that you just take the decision in which category it will lie. But in the regression, dependency, you will see the dependency, on the basis of dependency and independency you will take the decision. Okay. So, machine learning is categorized into how many parts? 3 parts: supervised, unsupervised and reinforcement. Supervised is again classified into classification and regression. So, classification is again divided into 2 parts, it is discussed. Now, the regression is what? Regression is also categorized into 2 parts, linear regression and non-linear regression. But so many other model are also introduces in regression like linear regression, multivariate regression, multiple regression or multivariate regression. Okay. Polynomial regression and the last one is the logistic regression. Logistic regression, this regression will be discussed on the later topic in the later videos, but here I will discuss the multiple regression, that means multivariate regression. Multivariate, obviously as the name suggests, multivariate means multiple independent variable will be there, and on the basis of multiple independent variable you will take the decision. Okay. So, multivariate regression is what? Basically it is also supervised learning, because it will be supervised by somebody. So, when we use multiple data variable for analysis, multivariate regression comes into the picture. Okay. It is an extension of multiple regression, okay, with one dependent variable and multiple independent variable. Multiple independent variables, see, multiple independent variable, this one is the independent, this is the independent variable, and on the basis of this independent variable you will take the decision and you will give the output, that means the y will be shown. And since the real world data involves in multiple variables or features, so for better analysis we would require multivariate regression. Okay. So, you do not be confused in that. If several equations are given, suppose linear equation. Okay. What linear equation? When the data is dependent on only single variable means single independent variable, then this is the linear regression type of equation. Okay. And multiple regression, as the name says, multivariate, multiple regression or non-linear regression comes, all are more or less same. So, multiple linear regression is what? When the independent variable are so many independent variable, you will take the decision, and this is the one dependency is only, and one dependency you have to find out. Okay. So, one dependent variable has to decided by the several factors, several independent variable. So, some equation is also introduces here, polynomial regression. So, polynomial regression, do not be confused, when the degree is added with the independent variable. Okay. This is the independent variable, here the degree is 1, here the degree is 1, all the independent variable having the degree 1, and here when the degree of independent variable is added, then this type of regression is converted into the polynomial regression. Okay. It will discuss later, but the comparison, do not be confused between multivariate, but between polynomial, between linear, right. So, what other various areas where multivariate regression will come? So many areas, One of the area, suppose you some third person, some XYZ wants to estimate the price, of the house obviously. So, what you will do? He will collect details, obviously he will collect details. Details in which manner? He will collect the data, and data will be what? Data may be your location, location where it is situated, and what are the age of house, how many it is, it is constructed, how much old it is, and the number of bedrooms, how many bedrooms it has, how many kitchens are there, rooms are furnished or not, sizes in the square feet, I have told you area, it depends, and electricity availability, amenities availability, so many other factors you will see for estimating the price. Okay. So, on the basis of these details, and these are all the independent variable, they do not have dependent. If area of a square, it does not depend upon the number of bedrooms. If area will be small, bedroom will be only 1 or 2, it is dependent, and if you have to make your small room, then it may be increase, maybe 3, 4. So, they are independent in nature, and dependent variable is what? Dependent variable will be only the price of the house. So, there is a dependency na. So, dependency, and in computer science how it is related? This is the management side. In the management side you will see all these factor, and on the basis of this you will take the decision. And in the computer science, how you will store these data into the computer? You will take any of the technology language, suppose Python you have taken. So, the data sets is stored in the some table, and you will use several packages there, and these data sets is already stored. You have to import that set, and you will analyze the things, and data will be in front of you. And how it is done? I have shown in the previous video also something, and you will just do that with the help of the any of the computer technology term. So, this type of things will be solved with the help of multivariate regression, because multiple independent variables are there for in predicting the things. For dependent variable is only one, and independent variables are so many things. And one more area was what? Suppose a doctor has a collected data on the cholesterol, he will test, he will take he will analyze several data like cholesterol test, blood pressure test, height, weight. He also collected data on the he or she what are the eating habit of them, and what are his or her sugar level, how many ounces of red meat, fish, or any non-vegetarian, or he is having a nature of non-vegetarian kind of thing, chocolates or sweets. These are the data that doctor will analyze for predicting, for investigating the diseases, right. So, which kind of factor lies under which category, right. So, investigating the relationship between what? Between these three measures of health and eating habit. So, health and eating habit will be checked by the doctor on the basis of the various her or his factors, and various factor will be what? These are the various factor, right. And one more area you can see, economists can use multivariate regression. How? For what? For why? To predict the GDP, to the growth of the state of the country based on the parameters like what? Like gains from export, total saving, and so many other factors. Then economists will be find out, predict the GDP growth of the state. So, several data, you are very much ensure that if somebody asks what is data, you just simply said data is just a factor and figure, but related terms introduces. If I am talking in the medical field, the data will be what? These are the data, okay. And if in the real life, if you have in terms of house, in terms of selling, in terms of anything buying, you will, the data will be related with that, right. So, data everywhere data exists. So, several factors are there for predicting the things. Here in the machine learning, you have to train the machine. If these kind of data will come, then you will predict this thing. If these type of data will come, then you predict that thing. So, machine will have to decide what they have to do. If the input is this, if the output is, then output will be what, is not it? So, the solution of these type of things will be analyzed by the various ways. By how? He or she will be selecting the features first, in which category it will lie, then he will normalize the things. Normalize means if somebody is redundant, if somebody is repeated simultaneously, that will be reduces one by one after this, and then you will you will select the loss function, hypothesis, you will just formulate the things. Yes, this is the nature of the data, and finally you will try to reduce the loss of the function, and after analyze again this is the final hypothesis of this particular problem. So, several other factors is also introduces in that in between, but these are the major ones. So, same for the non-linear regression. Non-linear regression, as the name suggests, linear and non-linear, they were the two types, right. So, linear regression, dependency only on the one independent variable, and in non-linear or multivariate regression, yes, you have seen what? Multivariate scene, that means several independent variables are scattered and you have to take the decision on the basis of only these independence variable, and finally you just able to take the decision. So, if I am saying what are the definition of nonlinear regression? So, nonlinear regression refers to the regression analysis where the regression model portrays a nonlinear relationship between the dependent variable and independent variable, obviously. And what dependent and what independent variable? I think it will be understood by you. So, in other words, the relationship between what? Between predictor and responsive variable allows a nonlinear pattern. Okay. So, if I am saying this is the area and this is the price. So, if it is a linear nature, so what happened? Your data will be, your several data will be scattered at very close manner, right. So, this is the linear kind of nature. Non-linear, when the data is scattered several where and you are very confused in nature, which kind of decision will be there. So, for predicting accurate result, you have to see in so many features, in every angle you have to see for predicting the things. But in linear, you just only see the which one is closest, that will be your result. So, nonlinear regression, nonlinear relations are that means your data is scattered, and if you will put the line like that, so only one or two data will be lie on the particular line. So, this is, and rest of the points are just left. So, how you will decide? So, this is very difficult to take the decision in nonlinear relationship, nonlinear regression. That is why you will see the so many independent variable for dependency, for one dependency. So, for taking decision, you will see in every aspect, at every aspect you will take the decision. You will analyze the independent variable at every aspect, and then you will able to take the decision, is not it. So, nonlinear relationship is there, and linear means is that. So, linear generally you have seen y equal to mx plus c, you have seen the definition. This is just a line relation, and you have studied in the math section in the high school. So, this is just a independent variable, these are the coefficient, and m is what? How many? This line is y axis, what is the major cut of the line. So, y equal to mx c, only independent variable is 1, and this is the just a linear regression, this comes under the topic this, and nonlinear is this. Okay. So, nonlinear regression is basically where it is used in the financial modeling. it is used in financial modeling. Obviously, this is just one of the real life and big things for taking the decision. And forecasting purpose, you have to predict, you have to forecast the thing, what will be happen after 10 days, after 1 hour or 1 year, you will take the forecast on the basis of so many factors, is not it. So, these are one of the major application of the nonlinear factors. And some other sector is also introduces, you know, insurance, you know, agriculture. What would happen after 10 years? Policyholder will have to take the decision, just he or she are at the age of 20 and he has to decide what will be happen after 30 year, after 30 year. So, insurance holder, these are the things that you have to take the decision in the previously at the age, at the early age, isn't it. So, nonlinear regression will helpful to decide the what would be the happen, what would happen after just some time, after 10 year, 20 year, what would be happen. And in agriculture, it is also major focused on the nonlinear regression. In agriculture, what would be the crops, how it is developed, what is the growth rate, these are all the symptoms, these are all the data that you will analyze, and after that you will just implement in your agriculture business. So, these are the basic major application of nonlinear regression. Let us look at some one application also. Since most biological process are nonlinear regression, nonlinear in nature. So, we can found nonlinear model applications in forestry research, a simple power functions to relate tree volumes or weight in a relations to its diameter or height is an example. So, you have seen so many applications of nonlinear and multivariate also. The thing is only it is dependent on the various independent variable and you have to take the decision on the basis of these independent variable. You have to take only one decision, obviously one decision, there should not be any dilemma, yes or no. If it is yes, then you just go on that, and if it is no, just be stick on that, isn't it. So, what you have to take the decision, because machine, your aim is not to confuse the machine, your aim is what, if the input is this kind, the machine will act accordingly, if the input is of this kind, then your machine will act that kind of thing, that accordingly. Okay. So, thank you so much, I hope you will like that, and you just able to know the linear and regression and classification, the differentiation of all that, you will just able to know. So, thank you so much.